So somebody had stitched my video about the Holy Spirit and being authentic, and it was, I don't want to mess up the name, Lana Landis Glorious. Thank you. It was a very nice video. And you had mentioned something about I could lose my job. Yes, I could. I don't see on what basis I could. I mean, yeah, they can, but they'll make up anything. They have to. But I've experienced that all through my nursing career. That's why I have a resume that's 15 pages long. Because you pick your battles, but the moment that you speak up about something, you become an instant target. And the targeting will be underhanded. I've mentioned this before. I've had it 2 jobs where a nurse educator and then a charge nurse, they had changed the drugs in the Pyxis. Nurses know what the Pyxis is, or Omnicell. It's the machine you get the drugs out of. And like for narcotics, when the drawer opens and the lid pops up, you have to count the narcotics. Well, the leaderships, they have access to get into those machines and mess around with them. And I saw an actual educator do that right before a job I left many years ago. And then all of a sudden she came out of that room, and then when I went to get an Ativan for a patient, the machine is off. So after my experience with my first job, I knew what they were doing. I was like, I don't want any part of this. I mean, I spoke up about it, but their whole goal was to get me to quit. So that's what they do. They do underhanded things like that to get you to quit. They will it's a cutthroat profession. It is. Because of the leadership. And the leadership, they don't even know what they're going. They just think that everything that they're being told is the right thing, because they don't think. They don't. The National Nurses United, why do they push universal health care? Why do they push Medicare for all? Actually, by the way, they're not calling it that anymore because so many people have caught on. So now they're calling it single payer. No, it's still universal health care. Single payer is universal health care. It's your communism health care system. But I bet you none of those people at the head of National Nurses United realize, because they love Obamacare, right? Worst thing ever to happen to health care. But do you realize that everybody in Congress and the House, the ones that are gone, and they're all exempt from Obamacare? Whenever your leaderships in government pass things onto you that they will be exempt from, that should be a big red flag. And yet I would bet you most of the people at Nurses Association, maybe they know, who knows, or National Nurses United, do they even know that? Because I mean, it screams loudly how bad Obamacare, how bad that bill is, because they made sure that they and their families would be exempt from it, even Obama himself. So, and they've done that with other things that they've passed. They don't work for the people. They were born in this country, but they're not true loving Americans. Not freedom loving Americans. Which brings me to my point, with this world, I fear God more than I fear a job or what any nursing organization would do. I fear God more than I fear death. And I think I see a lot of people where it's like, at this time in history too, this is a hill we're willing to die on. So that's why it's like when you wake up that sleeping giant, then you better watch out, because all you people that have been doing your unions and we're fighting the good fight. Yeah, you're all in a collective. It's a collective, meaning you all have to think alike. I made it really clear that I'm rather a loner. I'm not a grouper, and that's because the Holy Spirit doesn't have you group. It doesn't. Because it just tells me like that. That's why those organizations, they're using all this stuff like, oh, we're going to get nurses better pay. It's like, why is that going to matter if you're in a communist healthcare system? Hello? But see, those nurses just believe whatever National Nurses United says, not knowing they're taking them straight to the bottomless pit, really. I fear God. Yes, I could lose a lot. I really could. I mean, I have lost a lot since entering nursing, because you have to be a nurse that's just willing to go along. Not to say that there's no nurses that speak up, but I tend to keep I tend to keep speaking up. I mean, I only started doing videos a year and a half ago, but I'm saying that when I'm standing or advocating for something, I'm not usually going to back down. So that's usually why they end up targeting me. I mean, I'm professional about it, but they're usually the ones that are unprofessional. They are the ones that are unprofessional towards me. I mean, there's an actual NP that was a chief nursing officer that's still seeing clients today, I'm sure somewhere, that emotionally abused a 16-year-old kid. And that's just the start of what I've seen. And I didn't see that, but social worker and a tech told me about it. Because after that happened, that boy went back to his unit and tore the place apart. He tore the ceiling tiles out, tore the wire, he was that mad. And what he was most mad at was, first of all, he realized what she was doing to him, because people don't realize how smart DCFS kids are. They're so street smart. They can see a con artist a mile away, and he saw what she was doing, and he wrote it all down. I still have a copy of it. So he wrote it all down and signed it, what she did. And the social worker backed it up, because she did this in front of the social worker. Can you imagine? So, and that's just one example. And yet then when we all learn that there's all these things that happen to kids, what they're doing to kids, then it becomes like, it becomes the hill I'm willing to die on if it comes to that. Because it's not a good world when that stuff like that's going on. And I don't want to judge that chief nursing officer, even though I say some rather harsh things, because she's just mindless. But at the same time, can you not see how that's somebody that all of my the profession I'm in, all of the people at the top of my profession would look at her as an expert based solely on her damn education, okay? Because she's a forensic nurse and an NP and did all these degrees. That makes her somehow some expert. We can trust her more. Yet she abused a boy emotionally. But no, I was the target. I was the target because I was helping a kid. And it really wasn't because of that. They just used that because I was on a bargaining team with Illinois Nurses Association that did nothing but help drag me through the mud because they're in bed with all of them. So I know far too well how the union is. It's not something there to help you. If people don't want to see that, oh well. But yes, I've always known that I could lose my job, and I don't have any savings. I don't. So yes, it's all on the line for me. And many people would say that's really stupid. But it's not. When you know there's a God and you're walking with that's what you lean on. Even in the times when you get scared, no matter what they do to you. That is what the disciples did, because they knew the truth. And when you know the truth, you can't unknow it. And so you stand on it. That's the hill you're willing to die on. An important verse, 2 Corinthians 3:17. Now the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. So you would need a bunch of people that would want to remove God from this country, the real God, Jesus, the biblical God, because to do that will destroy this country. It says it in the Bible. So it has to be a hill you're willing to die on. I don't have any delusions about the nursing profession coming after me. Have they yet? No. But at any moment they could. And I would fight them with everything I have and expose them. Because if they truly are nurses, the way I was taught nurses are to be, then they have to do the right thing. And unfortunately, what I've seen out of most of the leaders I've had, not all, but most, is they do the wrong thing.